Unless you've been living under a rock, you've seen the headlines. Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier, arrest, escalate sprawling NBA betting scandal. NBA head coach and player charged in sports betting and Mafia-backed poker schemes. Just 2 days into the NBA season, the league got blindsided, not by a buzzer beater, but by the FBI. Federal prosecutors dropped 2 indictments that rattled the locker rooms all the way to Las Vegas.
This is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years. The FBI led a coordinated takedown across 11 states to arrest over 30 individuals today responsible for this case, which is very much ongoing.
More than 30 people, including a head coach and a current player, were charged in connection with league gambling schemes with ties to 4 New York Mafia families. But the question is not what happens so much, it's who does this and why. And by the way, when people ask me who does this kind of thing, it's not a rhetorical question. They truly want to know what kind of person does this? What kind of person risks everything? And in some of these situations, everything means multi-million-dollar per year careers for some crooked bets or rigged poker games. Let me give you the answer several different ways. There are generally 2 kinds of people you find involved in these scandals. Type 1, the professional criminals. And in type 2, you've got the arrogant, the entitled, the greedy, and incredibly naive. People who already have everything but still believe, the rules just don't apply to them. And for them, it's not about the money. It's about ego, wanting to be cool, relevant, and the adrenaline rush that some people apparently just cannot live without. Face it, some people would rather win $100 than earn $1,000 because their currency is not always cash. You must know it's something else because some of these people are earning a lot of money. Billups has earned approximately $106 million in his career so far. Rozier, $160 million. Why risk it all if in fact they did? Because remember, they've just been charged. These are just allegations. So let's unpack this and talk about what is alleged to have gone down. Prosecutors allege that between 2022 and 2024, players and associates used insider information to place fraudulent bets. Now take Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier. Before one game, he allegedly told a friend he would take himself out early with a fake injury. Now, that information to a gambler betting how many points Rozier would or would not score was worth a lot of money. It's a betting goldmine.
And the fraud is mind-boggling. It's not hundreds of dollars. It's not thousands of dollars. It's not tens of thousands of dollars. It's not even millions of dollars. We're talking about tens of millions of dollars in fraud and theft and robbery.
See, gamblers bet over and under on how many points player or team is going to score. So gamblers, knowing that he's going to take himself out, can bet the under, that he would score below his average number of points, and they cashed in. With that information, it becomes a sure thing. The indictment says his friend spread the word and pulled in more than $250,000 in bets, then supposedly met Rozier to count and divide the money. Now, both face wire fraud and money laundering charges. And that's just one layer of this basketball bamboozle. Again, these are just allegations at this point. In the second case, NBA Hall of Famer Chauncey Billups, now head coach of the Portland Trailblazers, is accused of being what's called a face card. That's Mafia slang for a celebrity lure, a big name that pulls wealthy players into a crooked game. Because there's a lot of people out there with more money than brains, and they want to go get into a game where they can rub elbows with big names. The FBI says Billups and others were recruited by members of the Gambino and Lucchese crime families to host rigged poker nights. The tables were wired with X-ray scanners, rigged card shufflers, and players wearing contact lenses so they could literally see through cards or read the backs of very subtly marked cards. And those famous face cards, they allegedly took a cut to stay quiet while millions of dollars were scammed, stolen from unsuspecting players. Now, I need to take a time out here. I don't know Coach Billups, but I've done a pretty deep dive on him, and I've talked to a number of professional athletes and broadcasters that have known and worked with him for years. And from what I'm hearing, it is entirely possible he is an unsuspecting victim in all of this. He was involved in it. He was there, from what I understand, but may well have been totally unaware that his presence was being used for illicit purposes. Those people that know him say that is just not who he is. Now, when a game is fixed, or even suspected of it, the damage goes far beyond the scoreboard. It impacts the entire sport. Think about it. It messes with every kid, every adult fan who believes in fair play and relies on these sports as a source of joy, pride, stress release, passion, bonding, distraction, and excitement. And if it all turns out to be rigged, well, what's the point of even watching? This is not about some gambling addiction. If you are a sports bettor, the system may not be illegal, but just like the house in Vegas, you need to know it too is stacked against you. Sports betting on these apps today is a multi-billion-dollar business. Betting companies are among the biggest advertisers in sports media. So who's policing the game when the watchdogs that should be are actually cashing in? And these apps are so addictive because they operate on what psychologists call a variable ratio reinforcement schedule. So one time it could be 1 out of 10 times you win. The next time it could be 1 out of 18, which is the most powerful reward schedule for shaping persistent behavior, and it's really resistant to extinction. The bettor just never knows when the payoff is coming, and it could be big enough to wipe out all the losses that you've sustained so far. It's unpredictable, fast, and endless. It lights up the brain's pleasure centers the same as heroin or other opioids. One whisper of inside information can be worth millions, and organized crime knows it. In gambling, the pros are called sharps, and they win around 55 to 60% of their bets. You think, well, that's not much better than flipping a coin. But when you're betting as much money as they are, 5 to 10% is a lot of money. The amateurs, which are referred to as, quote, the squares, tend to bet with emotion. They bet on their home team. But the real danger now lies in prop bets. These are wagers on what are called micro moments instead of just who wins or who loses, who covers the spread. Like, for example, will a given player grab 10 rebounds, less or more? Will a certain player hit a 3 in the first quarter? Will he play more or less than 15 minutes? And it's across all sports. Will the server serve an ace before he or she serves a double fault? Which team in football will be flagged with a penalty first? Now, when it comes down to one player, for example, that makes collusion really easy and hard to detect. It's not just about fixing games anymore. It's about manipulating moments, individual players. And by the way, less than 3% of bettors on sports betting apps win money across time. That means 97% are losing. So only 3% are going to win. And let's just be real here and assume that ain't you. You can play the game, but you cannot game the system. That is a stupid bet. And that is the real story. Wherever you're getting the real story, make sure you subscribe and follow. I'll see you tomorrow. You know, when life gets hectic and stress starts stacking up, it's easy to overlook one of the body's most important minerals, magnesium. That's why I take Magnesium Breakthrough from Bioptimizers. It's a premium formula that combines 7 forms of bioavailable magnesium along with vitamin B6 and humic and fulvic acids to help optimize absorption. Magnesium Breakthrough supports relaxation, deeper sleep, stress resilience, and muscle recovery, and even helps maintain healthy heart and bone function, all from one simple supplement. It's all natural, free from synthetic additives, and made to support your body from head to toe. So get ready to unwind, rest better, and keep your energy balanced, and try Magnesium Breakthrough. Visit bioptimizers.com/Dr. Phil and use promo code Dr. Phil for 15% off and 25% off during Black Friday. Because when your body gets the right kind of magnesium, everything just works better.